Good morning and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And today we do have a brief video on options beyond high school. You're like, what? After we graduate, there's more? What are our choices? So this is going to look at the middle school level, okay? And we're thinking in the mind of, well, what are our options for the future? Especially for middle school, okay? So if you're in my 8th grade course, this is especially important. If you're in my 7th grade course, then you're thinking, okay, well, this is some good things to know. How can we apply this? And what do we need to start thinking about? 8th graders, you need to say, okay, we're getting ready for high school. Now, what do we got to start really thinking about and start exploring some of the options that are out there for you? All right, let's get rolling. All right, so options. If I can get this thing to move forward, there it goes. You have 3 options, and I'm sorry my camera's in the way there, my little video feed, but you have 3 options, okay? Option number 1, you gain direct experience at work, all right? You can do that at school while you're going to school with a part-time job, but when you graduate, you can just go out and gain direct experience, okay? That's the route Mr. C went with, okay? But I quickly found out that I needed to explore other options, okay? It took me about 5 years to figure that out, okay? But, if you're working and you want to work in sales, okay, you don't have to go to college to work in a lot of the sales jobs that are out there, okay, especially here in our local businesses, okay? If you're wanting to work in warehouse, logistics, distribution, so on and so forth, you can just go out there and gain experience. If you want to install car stereos and build things with your hands and work in construction, you can gain direct work experience, all right? And there's a lot of value in work experience because a lot of people do have great careers without ever going to college or tech school, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? You've got to figure that out and make up your minds, okay? You can enroll in a trade school, a technical college, or a community college, right? We're going to talk about what those options are, but trade schools are essentially schools that specialize in certain areas or fields or careers, right? Technical schools are, well, just that. They specialize in the overall technology needed for businesses and information structures that are out there. And of course, community colleges also have great options that are out there. Or you can also enroll in a traditional university school, that kind of thing. All right. And then some go to community college and then go to the traditional school. And your choice is your choice, right? You got to figure that out. Make the best decision for you. All right. So when you gain direct experience, and there is an E behind that picture, I promise you, right? That means you are going straight to the work field when you graduate, okay? You are working directly for jobs which do not require additional education. And there might be some training that the employee might require, like, hey, you might be required to take some welding courses or, hey, you got technical certification in welding and that's great, but we want you to learn it our way. Or you might work at a restaurant or things such as that. You might be a mechanic, okay? And, maybe not just study courses through ASE and the various online courses at the business itself, okay? That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, all right? You are, maybe you'll be training for these jobs or being taught on the job with OJT or on the job training. Now, usually promotions are based on experience and performance, which is good, okay? But if you're looking at getting into jobs that require degrees, okay, like certain sales jobs or certain manager jobs, okay, then just having direct experience may or may not work for you. Each job is different, and I want you to understand that. Doesn't mean you can't be a manager if you don't have a 4-year degree. Okay, you can, but again, each job is different. They have their own specifications, okay? And again, they may require additional training once employed. All right. So, if you decide instead of going to out to the workforce, there are 2 options, okay? You can go to 2 years at a trade school, tech school, or community college, okay? Or you can do 4 years at a university, a traditional university like the University of Florida, University of North Florida, Stetson, University of Miami, so on and so forth, okay? Now, if you choose the trade school option and technical school option, you essentially go out to the workforce right after. If you choose the community college option, right, you'll either get an associate's degree, okay, or in sciences, associates in sciences or associates in arts, both of which will transfer to the traditional university. So ideally, you could do 2 years to get used to the college life, okay, at the community college, and then transfer to the traditional university and get full flung into it. Now, some people choose that option if they want to save a little bit of money instead of going to the traditional university. Usually, most people that do choose the traditional university are on various scholarships to help keep costs down. Usually, not always. Each person's different and they make their own choices. All right. All right. So let's see what's involved with those. All right. So trade school or tech school. And that says tech schools behind the camera. You get the theme here, right? All right. So trade school and tech schools. You might choose an automotive or diesel college. Great options that are out there. There's a great school in Jacksonville. There's a couple around the Florida area, Georgia, North Carolina, so on and so forth. You might choose computer technology with a tech school, okay? There are various ones available out there for that. Not just programming, okay? Well, there is some programming, but technology in general. You might choose welding, okay? In fact, there's a job place here in Lake City, New Millennium, that will actually train you to weld without going to tech school. That's kind of cool, right? You can do entry-level nursing, okay? Not the big nursing jobs, but entry-level nursing. You can do cosmetology if you like dealing with hair and makeup and nails and all that kind of good stuff, right? Culinary, working in food, trade schools, all right, available for that, and other various skilled trades, okay? And those are great options. And having that certification does help you out in the long term because it says, hey, I know a little bit more about what's going on. I have experience, so on and so forth. Now, does that mean if you go to a trade school that you won't just start off with entry-level jobs? Nah, don't expect the best jobs when you graduate. It's not going to work like that. That's not how the real world works, okay? But some employers do look at that resume and say, oh, you went to trade school? You went to blah, blah, blah technical institute and learned about diesel mechanics? When can you start working? Okay? That kind of thing, all right? All right. If you choose the community college option, hey, there's no need because you can kind of see that E right there, right? All right, so community college option, you are getting an associate's degree. Now, that could be in arts and humanities. That could be in communication. That can be in design. What kind of design? Well, advertising design, building design, so on and so forth. Interior design. That could be in business, or, I say business in a small sense, okay? Education, okay, if you want to be an educator, that kind of thing. Public safety, criminal justice, and, of course, various liberal arts and sciences. Now, some people go straight to the work world with just their associate's degree. Nothing wrong with that, and that's great. Some people choose to transfer and use those college credits to go to a traditional college or university, okay? I will tell you that our local college here, right, Florida Gateway College, is actually a fantastic school, and they also have very top-rated programs, okay? So keep that in mind as you're making your decisions, okay? Traditional universities, and yes, there is plural behind that picture, right? Traditional universities, okay? This is the four-year schools. Again, I said that earlier. University of North Florida, Stetson, Florida State, University of Florida, USF, Miami, colleges out of state. You get the idea, right? This is where you get a bachelor's degree, okay? Now, if you're looking at this little picture here on the side, it says bachelor's degree, 4 to 5 years. That means the average student can expect 4 to 5 years to earn that bachelor's degree. Nothing wrong with that. That's how much additional schooling it takes if you're a full-time student. Okay. Then if you earn your master's degree, it's going to take an additional 2 to 3 years on top of that. Okay. So total of, 6 to 8 years, depending on the courses of study. The master's degree that Mr. C is in is a 2-year program. Okay. So it's going to take me another 2 years before I'm done. Well, a year and a half by now, okay? And then if you're going to get your doctorate's degree, that means you spent an additional 4 to 7 years in school learning, studying, so on and so forth, applying those things you've learned beyond the bachelor's degree. Now, what can you study for? Well, you get a bachelor's degree in architecture, arts and sciences, business, okay? Mr. C minored in business. You do communication, education, human development, engineering, marine and atmospheric sciences. Basically, if you want to be a meteorologist, in other words, if tornadoes and hurricanes really fascinate you, along with other various storms and weather conditions, that's a great place to be, right? Marine sciences. I could do a quick plug, right? If you like marine sciences, you like dealing with marine life, so on and so forth. And I had some buddies that studied marine biology when they were in, that I dormed with, okay? Hey, University of Miami has a great marine program, right? Plug. Okay, so there you go. You got music. Mr. C earned a Bachelor of Music from the University of Miami. And then, of course, you got nursing, health, and various other programs depending on the school. All right, if you go with a master's degree, hey, look, it's pretty much the same thing. You get a master's in architecture, arts and sciences, business, communication, education, human development, engineering, marine and atmospheric sciences, medicine, music, health, nursing, so on and so forth, okay? So, yeah, those are the options that are out there. Now, what do those options lead to? You're going to have to research and study this. You're going to have to figure it out, okay? You're going to have to do your work because I can't make those decisions for you and I can't do the work for you. So if you're like, hey, what is architecture? What do you do when you get a master's in architecture or a bachelor's in architecture? What does that mean? All right? Use your internet tools and search that stuff and figure that stuff out. All righty? So you got to start planning. You got to start researching. And as of right now, I am over 10 seconds of my target mark. So I will go ahead and conclude this video. But go ahead and do your work, and hopefully you have a good introduction about the options that are available to you after you graduate high school. Thanks for watching.